everybody, and welcome to another video. My name is Ruby Herbert. I'm a functional medicine certified health coach, and today's video is just going to be talking a little bit about the habit of journaling and how necessary it really truly is at this time in our lives and with everything going on. How important it is to just really take some time for yourself to really get stuck into a journal and reflect and do that on real pen and paper. I also have a few questions you might want to ask yourself before you get stuck into journaling, just to kind of understand if it's something that would benefit you. And I want to share as well just a couple of my recommendations for the different supplies, like what kind of journal I use, pens, and things like that. So these days, obviously, there's a lot of chaos. There's a lot of different input that you get from media, from social media, from friends. And I think that we're finding that constant barrage of new information and scrolling and the different kind of stimuli around that is causing us a lot of anxiety and a lot of fear and a lot of worry. So I think that one way to combat that is if you were to take some time for yourself to write down, reflect, and kind of understand how you are processing all of that information. And it really just helps to do that on pen and paper. The reason why I'm really passionate about pen and paper versus doing something like a journaling app or just typing away on your laptop, there's a few different reasons. One of them that I kind of just mentioned is that if you're on something like your phone or the laptop, there's an easy temptation for you to then get stuck on social media or a news scroll or BuzzFeed or whatever, It's very easy to kind of click over and get distracted. Furthermore, you're staring at a blue screen, and there's a lot of studies that are showing, eye strain and a lot of problems with sleep for people who are constantly on the screen. So I know you're on the screen now watching this video, so I can't go too high and mighty lecturing about this because this is kind of where we're at in society, right? People work on computers and they spend a lot of time doing things like that. It's easy to keep up with friends as well if you don't have a local community. So there's definitely positives to things like the internet, but as with all things, I feel like there needs to be a balance and a routine. And it does help if you can find variability in the things that you're doing. So if you spend a lot of time on your screen for work, maybe you don't want to be spending so much time on your screen for pleasure, right? So that's kind of all individual and up to you and depending on what your schedule is like. But that's why I wanted to share more about the option of journaling into something physical. So it's great, you're not on a screen, you're looking at a nice cream flat piece of paper. Maybe if you can get outside and do this in some natural light, it'll just really help your eyes see different kinds of environments. With variability, you do become more resilient, so it's important to kind of foster that in your daily life. There's something else that I've been ruminating on recently in terms of where you put your energy and what you put your energy into. So I think that it's important that we have things that we build and develop physically in physical reality. So with a journal, everything that you're writing down is a word that's coming from your hand, out of a pen, onto a physical piece of paper. If you were to be doing this on a screen, it doesn't truly exist. It's not a physical, tangible reality. It's on your laptop, sure, your laptop exists. But these words, they're digital, they're files, and it might sound a little kind of woo-woo, but I feel like there's something there in terms of, the human being someone who is able to create and form and create tangible things. I'm wondering what it's doing to us that we spend so much time creating media and digital files. It's a little weird, so if anyone can kind of relate to that or understand what I'm saying, put that in the comments so I know I'm not alone. But I just wanted to share that with you guys, just that thought that I've been having about where you put your energy into. Journaling is also very personal. So I'm not going to sit here and lecture about, formatting or every day you should do this much journaling. I find it's super nice to just be able to carve out a consistent schedule in terms of journaling, just so that you can get acquainted with and into a routine that you can really start to depend on and know that no matter what you experience in the day, you're going to have some opportunity to have some time to yourself and sit and reflect and ruminate on what happen to you or how you process information. So if you haven't started a journal before, or you're interested and you clicked on this video, I wanted to give you some questions that you can kind of think about maybe before you go investing in paper and pens and things like that, because personally for me, it took me a while to cultivate this habit. I would always be buying, the journals where they have all the prompts for every day, and there'd be like 5 of them, and I would just fall off after a couple days because I'm like, oh my god, I don't know what to write for these. I'm not filling this out. If it's a dated journal as well, you start missing days and then you feel like a failure. There's a lot of different ways these things can go. And that is why I wanted to start you off with some questions to just kind of think about. And then I'll get into what I like to buy in terms of the kind of journal and pens and things like that I use. So I have 5 questions here that are just to open you up into thinking about whether journaling will benefit you and how to really start incorporating it into your daily life. So the first one is, what drew you to journaling maybe for this next year, if it's a New Year's resolution, or you had to click on this video for a reason? What made you want to learn more, and why do you think it's something that would benefit you? So that's the first question. It's kind of like 3 multiple questions in there. But yeah, just truly sit and think about, what do you believe journaling will do for you? How will it benefit you? And kind of what drew you in? The second one is, have you ever kept a journal before? So as I said, I just shared some of my experiences. I used to have some. I fell off of it. The most successful journaling that I ever did was with a friend of mine. We had a journal and we would pass it back and forth every week. We would write to each other, kind of like letters, but then in the end it was all bound in this nice journal. So it's important to think about in the past if you've ever had a journal and kind of what made you keep that journal, because maybe that will help you as you go forward to start incorporating it into your life again. Number 3 is, when is there time during your day to sit down and actually journal? So we all always can have the best intentions, right? But we really got to start thinking specifically when we're trying to build a new habit, when are we actually going to be able to do this? So if you can sit and think about in your daily life, throughout your schedule, is there a time of 10 minutes, 15 minutes, half an hour that you'll be able to consistently keep if that's important to you? Following on from that is just how long is realistic for you to take time away. If you have a family and your children are around, is there time that you'll actually be able to take away, and how long is that going to be? As I said, it could be as little as 10 minutes. Just to be able to have that time for yourself to sit and reflect in your journal. And lastly, this question is, how do you think journaling will help you? So what is motivating you to start the journal and to keep consistent to it? How do you think it's going to help you going forward, and why is that important to you? So hopefully those make sense to you guys. Just some 5 questions that you can sit and kind of think through, and maybe even get these on a piece of paper. That doesn't have to be in a journal if you haven't bought one yet. Maybe just a piece of paper, printer paper, anything like that. Just go ahead and note some of these down. And especially the ones where I'm talking about actually what time can you do this and how long is that going to be, because that's just going to help you be able to start on this habit. If you guys answered any of these and you want to share your answers with me, go ahead and put that in the comments. I'd love to hear what you're thinking. And also, if you want to join my locals community, we can talk more there about journaling and keeping this habit. So that'll be a link down in the description if you want to check that out. Okay, so now we can get into the fun part, all the different supplies. So I'm a simple person. I really just use a journal and pens, and I also put little stickers on my journals just to make them look a little cuter. The journal that I really love to use is, it's called actually Leuchtturm. I thought it was Leuchtturm. So you might have seen them. It looks like Leuchtturm 1917, but it's pronounced Leuchtturm. I had to look that up for this video so I didn't embarrass myself again. These range from about $15 to $20 on Amazon, so they are on the pricier side. So definitely, if you're new to this and you don't even know if you're going to keep it up, you don't have to invest in like a super nice journal. You can always use just an easy spiral bound notebook. I'm sure they have plenty of these at the dollar store, things like that, to just pick up. But I would recommend that it's bound, just so that you're not losing pages everywhere and you don't have to keep on top of that. So the reason why I like these Leuchtturm ones is because they close, they have a nice little band here, and it's just a beautiful, heavy, cream-colored paper, which is very nice to look at, as I was saying before about looking at various different things. Looking at natural kind of things. It's not all bleached and artificial looking. It's this nice cream tone. And I use the ones that have the dots in here, the dot grid. And the reason why I like these is because it'll help me to write in a straight line. You can stay within these lines and keep guided that way. But as you write, the dots kind of disappear within the writing. So at the end, it just looks like you're writing a nice page. And it's very kind of aesthetically pleasing in my opinion. They also have some nice numbers here. And the journal that I have, this is a new one I'm going to start in the next year, but the journal I'm working through now has been with me since February. So I fell off a little bit earlier in the year, but it lasts quite a long time, especially if you write on both sides of the paper. In terms of the stickers, if you see my other video where I mentioned my journaling, I get these from Beartooth Catholic. I'll, again, share that down in the description. He has a lot of great stickers. Society 6 or Redbubble, you can get cute stickers that people design. I just like to add something else a little on here to make it look special. In terms of pens, my thing that I think is very important is to have an awareness of sustainability, and I was really big into the whole zero waste movement a while back. I've eased off a little on that just because of practicality of things. But one change that I made a couple years ago that I've never regretted doing is buying a nice fountain pen. So I have two of these. These are from Wordsworth in Black. So again, I got these on Amazon, another kind of $20. You can get cheaper ones from Pilot, or other kinds of pens, so it's definitely up to you. I do recommend these though, just for their writing quality. So they have a really smooth nib. It's very pleasurable to write with, you know, the words just kind of flow out onto the page. And I have two, one black and one purple, and I have refillable ink bottles. So I can show you here, they come with a cartridge that you can use to fill up, instead of using single-use plastic cartridges that you can refill into fountain pens, or even just single-use pens, right? So the reason why I made this change is because I'd be writing and I'd run out of a pen every few weeks, and then I'd be throwing away an entire plastic pen. And there's a lot of worries in terms of pollution and microplastics that are getting into our foods, and really they're very toxic to our bodies and the environment. And I just think it's important when you're able to make a change to be more sustainable that you take that opportunity, and one way to do that is to use refillable fountain pens. It's also just kind of classy, right? It makes me feel like I'm in the olden times, right? Not that old, because these are probably from like the 60s, but you know what I mean. So that's truly kind of the most simple journal supplies that I could think of. Literally just pens, ink, and a journal. Many people are very into the whole bullet journaling, so I personally never got into that, but there's plenty of people on YouTube who do beautiful different kinds of formats and things all on their own. And so if you're interested in making something that's more artistic, definitely go check that out. Otherwise, I really think it's important for us to have a personal relationship with this journal. So as I kind of mentioned, I'm not going to give you a format or a guided every day you need to do this and this and this, because this is only a benefit to you if it's a benefit to you, right? And you're the one who gets to choose how to best incorporate these things into your life. So for me, I'll give an example of just how I've been able to keep regular with it. Is every morning I go to daily mass at 7 a.m. and then after mass I just sit and I journal for, 20 minutes. There's some beautiful music kind of playing in the church, and I know that I can have time in the morning to regularly make this a habit. If I miss a day, I don't beat myself up about it. I just know that my journal is always there for me in case I need to get my thoughts down on paper. Spiritually as well, I find it beneficial to me to address my writings to God. So especially sitting in church and looking at the tabernacle, I can kind of connect there in a more spiritual way, and it helps me to formulate my thoughts as though I'm speaking to God. And to be honest, I do get a lot of kind of feedback, I think, from him when I do that. So that might be a way, if you're looking to have a more kind of spiritual connection with your writings, to do that. Or, as I said, just kind of do a brain dump or write down little notes of things that happen to you in your day, and that will just help you, as I said, like, understand and synthesize all of the things that happen to you, especially in this day and age when we're just getting bombarded by information. So I hope that some of the things I said will help you maybe incorporate a journaling habit into your life. If you do, or if you've been a regular journaler, I'd love to hear your experiences in the comments. And as I said, if you want to have kind of more of a back and forth or join a community of like-minded people, please check out my locals page where we can connect kind of on a deeper level away from YouTube and things like that. All right, so that's really it for me. I hope you all have a great day, and I'll catch you soon.